All right, our next animal, pretty cool. In fact, my son's nursery is decorated in these. The great horned owl. Let's welcome Cade Williams.
Okay, so my bird is the great horned owl. Okay, so the characteristics of this bird are the height is 1.5 feet tall to 2.5 feet. So the male and female, the tall is about the same. The weight average, the female is bigger with about 4 pounds and the male is 3 pounds. On the wingspan is about as big as ours, 4 feet to 5.5 feet, which is pretty big. Yes, that's how big. The tail is 7 inches to 11 inches tall, long. The yellow, so it's yellow, brown, and white with black bars running along its whole all of its body. It has big yellow hat-like eyes and ear tufts that it is named after, the great horned owl. Okay, so distribution. This bird, the owl, lives actually very widespread. It lives all the way up to Alaska, all the way down to South America. It lives in every climate in the world. This bird does not live in groups. It is mainly a solitary bird until its mating season, and then it will get together with a mate and have its adults. And then resting places. When it is not mating season, it will have its favorite perches that it will go to when it catches a day. Okay, the classification. So the kingdom is Animalia, and all animals are in that one. And then the phylum is Chordata, and the class is Aves. All birds are in the class of Aves. And the order is Strigiformes, the family is Strigidae, the genus is Bubo, and the species is Bubo virginianus. Okay, conservation status. This bird is least concerned and is very widespread. As you saw, it lives all the way up to Alaska, all the way down to South America. So, and it's staying steady, but not decreasing or increasing. Okay, the predators to owlets are falcons and eagles, and they can attack them by preying on them when they're learning how to fly. And vultures. And the predators to adults are, one is the fisher cat. The fisher cat is part of the weasel family, and it is cousins to the wolverine. It can climb trees and prey on owls that are nesting or out in their favorite perches. And then the other threat to adults are humans. And we hurt them by logging and pesticides. Okay, reproduction. So the mating season is in January and February, and then both male and female incubate. And so, and they have attacked humans who got too close to their nests. Nests, male and female, they don't actually make the nest. They find an abandoned, a large hawk or an eagle. They find an abandoned nest that they have made, that the eagle or hawk has made, and take it as their own. Or they find crevices in logs. Yeah. And then they normally have 2 to 5 eggs per season. And then the owlets, after they have hatched and they have been incubated, they live 6 to 7 weeks. Then they leave and start flying. Okay, so the diets. They mostly eat rats, mice, shrews, bats, insects, weasels. Grouse is a bird, and then rabbits, snakes, and other small birds. So the way they hunt is they have special fringes on their wings, which helps them fly silently through the air, so the prey can't hear them come. Okay, the habitat. Owls, where they mostly live is in America. They live all over America in the U.S., and they mostly like coniferous trees. And so that's like around here, like dense evergreens. They like oak, pine, and juniper trees. So here's one of the owls, great horned owl, great horned owl. They also like cliff edges, nooks, and even caves where they can feed on bats, pretty much like fast food. Okay, human relationships. Threats to this bird are logging, where we take down their habitat by logging their habitat and places where they hunt. And then we also use pesticides. So pesticides we put on our crops to keep the insects away. But when the insects get it on their body and they have the pesticides, and the owl sees an injured insect, and it's like an easy food. So it goes in and eats it, and it could get sick and die from the pesticides on the insect. And then we can help this bird by, like, if we find an owl with a broken wing, we have rehabilitation in zoos that helps them get back to strength and let them back into the wild. There have been bans in certain states, like where there's a lot of agriculture, so in like the south, and to stop using so much pesticides. And then we have sanctuaries of trees and other natural habitat to preserve their habitat. And that's what we're excited. And then
From the inner, yeah.
It is a master of the night, flying soundlessly through the sky. Small but mighty, this predator overtakes animals more than 3 times its size. Relying on its superhero-like vision and hearing, the great horned owl descends from the darkness. From the Arctic tundra to the dry heat of South America, these owls can adapt to almost any hunting ground. And with such diversity of landscape, it's no surprise they prey on over 250 different species. While they prefer to eat rabbits and rodents, the great horned owl will attack snakes, frogs, and even other owls. Weighing only 3 to 5 pounds and standing just 18 to 25 inches tall, the great horned owl relies on its senses, not its size, to take down its target. Owls have extraordinary eyesight. They see 10 times better than humans in daylight and 100 times better at night. A human's eyes would have to be the size of an orange and weigh close to 5 pounds to be able to have the same powerful vision of this winged killer. If that wasn't enough of an advantage, owls have an astonishing 14 vertebrae in their necks, allowing their head to swivel nearly 270 degrees to keep a constant eye on their opponent. And what prey they can't see, they can most definitely hear. Great horned owls can hear a mouse squeak 100 yards away. The feathers on their faces form a disc, acting like a satellite dish that funnels sound into the predator's ears to amplify their hearing. The wingspan of these owls measures up to 5 feet from tip to tip, allowing them to reach speeds up to 40 miles per hour. This gives them incredible maneuverability and power. They are nearly undetectable until it is too late. Once the owl has attacked, there is no hope of escape for their helpless victims. Their grip can exert 500 pounds of pressure per square inch, roughly equivalent to the strength of a wolf's jaws. The sharp, needle-like talons puncture deep into the body, rupturing vital organs. If the unfortunate victim survives this initial hit, the owl then slashes the prey repeatedly with its talons and pecks the head and neck with its powerful beak until it dies. The great horned owl is a prolific killer. Just one of these magnificent birds eats more than 4,000 mice per year. With such a steady and endless food supply, the great horned owl will be patrolling the night skies for many years to come.
Question for Mr. Cade Williams. So what other birds is it mostly closely related to?
The great gray owl.
Oh, nice, nice. So
Mostly
it's not as closely related to as like the barn owl and
That's the only one that I.
the great gray owl. Interesting. What kind of mating system does the bird use?
Can you like restate that question?
So like, yes, like some birds, there's males that will compete for females, or females will compete for like males, or some birds will pair bond, meaning that a couple just get together and stay together
That's
for
what
life.
it is.
Do they do
They
it
don't
for
like
life?
stay together for life, but they have hunting grounds, so they like hunt in their certain areas. But when it's mating season, they will look for the mate that they had like last year.
Okay. And then how old are they when they become reproductive?
2 to 3 or I don't actually know that.
Okay. And how long do they live for?
In the wild, I didn't know, and in the captivity, it didn't. I couldn't
Okay.
find anything on that.
And then do they do any like seasonal stuff like migrate or
No.
any of that stuff? And then you mentioned some really cool predators to those guys, and especially about the human interactions we have with them. How big of an impact do you think those have to the conservation of the bird?
Like logging and pesticides and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we like keep logging, we could like destroy all their natural habitat, and like that's why we make sanctuaries for them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and like national wild like parks and stuff.
Any other questions for Mr. Key?